been a while, so today I want to give you a brief introduction to what we call Treiglo, or mutation, which is not the best translation, but there it is. So what is mutation? Well, it's probably every Welsh learner's least favourite part of Welsh, apart from perhaps our 10,000 ways to say yes and no. But what it is when the first letter of a word changes depending on its position in a sentence. Sounds fun, right? So just to give you some examples, we would say Cymru, Wales, but dwi'n byw yng Nghymru. Cath, cat, but we'd say mae'r gath yn goch instead of mae'r cath yn coch. Mae'r gath yn goch. And let's see another example. We would say fy mrawd, not fy brawd. Why do we do this? Basically because it flows better, it sounds better, and because Welsh has mostly been transcribed phonetically, it's bled over into our spelling as well as how we say things. You can speak Welsh without mutating things correctly. In fact, I know some native speakers who still don't seem to really have the hang of Treiglo, but it sounds better. And another good reason to know it is sometimes you'll see a word in Welsh that's been mutated and you won't realise what it actually is. So knowing the origin of the word can help you, if you see the word gath, to know that you should be looking up cath in your dictionary. So I've linked below to a table of mutations, and you'll see that in Welsh there are 3 types of mutations. There's soft mutation, or treiglo meddal. There's nasal mutation, treiglo trwynol. And there's aspirate mutation, treiglo llais. You'll see as well in the table that not all letters have all versions of the mutation, and when they don't have a mutation, we don't use it. So I learnt Welsh, in terms of going to school, speaking Welsh at home, and for me, I never sat down and learnt the rules of Treiglo. I would encourage you to have a look, but not to fixate on it too much, because it will come to you the more you hear Welsh, the more you read Welsh, and hopefully it will start to sound right to you, as it does to me. So let's just go over a couple of examples of when we use Treiglo. So first, you want to say that you live somewhere, you're going somewhere. We always use the preposition yn to say the place we're talking about. So while you might hear a sentence like dwi'n byw yn Manceinion, which is the Welsh name for Manchester, dwi'n byw yn Manceinion, if you have a place that starts with a letter that's mutatable, you're going to have something more like this. Dwi'n byw ym Mangor, dwi'n byw yng Nghaerdydd, dwi'n byw yng Nghymru. Yeah. So that's when you want to say in something. Actually, yes, then when you want to say you're going to somewhere, it would become the soft mutation, treiglo meddal. Dwi'n mynd I Fangor, dwi'n mynd I Gaerdydd, dwi'n mynd I Gymru, or dwi'n dod o Gymru. So that's an example of trwynol, example of meddal. Another example is possessives. So if I want to say my something, I'd say fy, and then use the treiglo trwynol. So an example, cath, it becomes fy nghath. So dyma fy nghath, dyma fy mrawd. For your something, it's dy and the treiglo meddal. So it would be dy gath, dy frawd. Okay, dy gath, dy frawd, not dy cath, dy brawd. See how it just sounds a little bit softer, more flowy? The same happens when you say his something. So it becomes a gath, a frawd. But with female things, with her cat and her brother, it would be the aspirate mutation. So it becomes a chath, and because there isn't one for be, a brawd. Okay? Then for the other people, us and them and plural you, there's no mutation involved. So ein brawd, ein cath, that kind of thing. Another time that you'll need to use it is for adjectives. When you want to say something is something else, as in an adjective, you'll use yn and then the adjective mutated. So for example, mae'r te yn dda. The tea is good. Yn dda, not yn da. Yn dda. Or mae'r tywydd yn ddrwg. Yeah, again, instead of drwg, yn ddrwg. Mae'r gath yn goch. Yn goch, not yn coch. Yn goch. Now you might notice I also said mae'r gath. When we're saying the something and it's female, it's going to also mutate to the soft mutation. So mae'r dyn yn, I don't know, yn y tŷ, mae'r ddynes yn y tŷ. So mae'r dyn, mae'r ddynes. Female nouns also do something else fun. So in English, you'll see that we use adjective noun. For example, blue car, nice woman. In Welsh, other way around. So it would be, car blue, woman nice. So car glas, dynes nice. Now when your noun is feminine, again, your adjective is going to mutate softly. So we'd have, N doesn't mutate. So let's say da, good. We'd say mae hi'n ddynes dda. Yeah, so dynes dda. Dyn da. So again, let's say dyn tal, dynes dal. Okay, a lot to remember, but it's just a brief introduction to stuff that you'll hear more as it goes along. So let's give you a couple of examples. How do you say, this is my brother? Okay, you say, dyma fy mrawd. Dyma fy mrawd. How would you say, my father? Okay, so you take tad and look it up in the table, fy nhad. And if you know the Welsh national anthem, hen wlad fy nhadau, that's what the nhadau comes from. It's fy nhadau, as in my father's tadau. Okay, and let's see, how would you say, the coffee is hot? So, mae'r coffee yn boeth. Yeah, so instead of poeth, yn boeth. Sometimes you don't always hear the differences in speech. It's again a thing you'll get used to more and more. But yeah, just a quick introduction for you to have a go. Okay, so thank you for watching today, and I'll see you again soon.